What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to the Warframe video. So today we have the freshly released Boar Prime INCARNON. Literally just got released like 3 or 4 hours ago, and we're going to be doing a deep dive review on it today. Basically just spent like most of the entire stream messing with different builds, testing out different, beam lengths, chaining distance, all that kind of stuff. So we got the good info for you today. Before we get into it though, make sure you sub this channel. We do daily Warframe video uploads, build videos like this, news videos. You want to keep up to date, make sure you sub this channel. Also, please hit that like button down below. Helps more people see these videos and spread the word that the Boar INCARNON is really, really good. Now, we're going to have a couple caveats to that, but basically, yeah, Boar INCARNON is a technically must-have INCARNON in this game. Let's show how this thing works, and I'm just going to also let you know the builds today will not be utilizing Rivens or like weapon damage buffs or whatever. The only buff I'll be getting right now is going to be Corrosive Projection. And you know what? Let's just take Corrosive Projection off. So there we go. Now we have literally no buffs. We're on a Naros. Keep in mind that in the Steel Path gameplay later, there will be, technically Corrosive Projection and some armor stripping going down. But let's just show how the Boar INCARNON works first. So like most INCARNON guns, get a couple headshots, and you will charge up this INCARNON meter here at the bottom. Once you fully charge it up, you will have about 150 shots of a beam gun. You don't have to have the meter fully charged up to activate it, but it's so easy to charge one as well. Once you've transformed the Boar into the INCARNON mode, now you have a beam that will damage up to 3 enemies at a time. It will not ever go above 3 enemies linked by the beam. Like that is the 3 you get, and it's actually quite nice. So this beam is going to have heat damage innately, and it does kind of remind me of the torid INCARNON a little bit, which is going to be both a good thing and a bad thing as far as how powerful this thing really I am viewing it as. So right now we're on a viral, it's pretty much just a viral build. As the thing has built-in heat, the viral build has become a viral heat build, so you can slap on Hunter Munitions and all that, and with a good amount of stacks on here. Even the primary shot, the Boar has always been a kind of like an okay shotgun, but not a phenomenal shotgun. With some of the INCARNONs I'm going to show you, you will get massive damage numbers like this with no Riven required. I know I say no Riven required a lot, but I am someone that usually uses Rivens, and this thing has really strong Rivens. So I might briefly show the Riven at the end here, but yeah, no Riven build, no buffs at all. About, 150k slash proc, sometimes higher, sometimes lower, 312k, so that's Hunter Munitions for you. I'm going to show you 2 different builds. We're going to show all the INCARNON choices you can go over, and we're also going to show some Steel Path gameplay of both those builds, okay? So, let's start going over these INCARNONs. The ones I've got right now, I've got Refeed Bane. Sorry if I said that word wrong. I don't even know what that word's supposed to be. Increases your base damage by +10, and then Reload from Empty gives you 10 more base damage. Second tier, on Reload from Empty, plus 100% reload. So these 2 go together, basically. And then the final one we got is Crit Chance and Crit Damage. The build we were just showcasing there is a viral Hunter Munitions build. Now, another problem with this thing is shotguns in general have a bit of a mod drain issue. You might notice right here, I have a 60-60 cold mod. If I want to go for maximum viral damage, I could go for Prime Chilling Grasp. But would you look at that? This thing drains 16 drain, and it's a D polarity mod. There's not really many D polarity mods in this game. Besides, one of the ones that everyone usually runs is Galvanized Savvy. So we have a mod drain issue here. In the future, I could form with this some more, but also remember that Rivens have 18 mod drain too. So if I'm putting on another Prime mod and a Riven, I'm going to have nowhere near enough mod drain for this. So DE might need to look into increasing our capacity on gun mods in the future. But yeah, either way, here's the build. I just used it in there. In the footage, we'll have a different Bane mod because Bane mods are good. And yeah, switch the Grenadier to the Corrupted one if you're fighting the Corrupted. Switch it to the Corpus if you want to fight the Corpus. So this is the viral Hunter Munitions build, and here's a Corrosive build. Again, if you do have more Forma on here, put this Scattering Inferno to the Blaze mod instead. It will give you less status chance, but it will give you also bigger base damage numbers as it gives you a damage increase. So let's go over all the INCARNON choices, and we can also talk about the mechanics of this thing because we test it a lot. So one of the things you should know about this weapon is that it has a 22-meter beam length. Additionally, it can chain to 3 enemies, and the chaining distance is 8 meters between enemies. For the Tier 2 evolutions, let's also go over those. So we've got Refeed Bane on here. It's going to give you 20 base damage. This base damage increase will last until you basically reload not from empty. That bonus will go away if you do reload. Like, let's say you fire off 2 shots and then reload. That is not reload from empty. You lose that extra 10 damage, base damage. So keep that in mind. The other choice is 16 base damage at all times, and when you have over 450 armor, you will get 4 meters of punch through. Unfortunately, just like the Torid Incarnon, punch through doesn't really affect this thing that much. You can still shoot through walls, but you can't really like shoot through multiple enemies to get more chaining. For tier 3, this quality of life Incarnon will really come down to your personal preference. You can either increase the ammo capacity by more, you can give it more accuracy to hit make the pellets like a little bit more accurate, or you can go for the one I have, which is reload speed from empty increase. The final tier, I feel like there's only really one choice, but the other choices, you have elemental balance, increasing status chance by 12. Probably could stack quite nicely on a heat proc build specifically. Keep in mind, this thing has base heat, so, you know, status chance increases can be quite potent. But yeah, we're going for crit here for one-shots outright. We got the other choice, the one I've gone with, critical parallel, crit chance and crit damage. That's so powerful. It's pretty hard to beat that. And the final choice is Survivor's Edge, giving you both status chance and crit chance. So the juice of crit chance and crit damage is just too nice to let go of. So on this build, we've got 105% crit chance on the primary shot and 120% crit chance on the Incarnon beam shot. So let's go over some gameplay as well. So let's see. I think this one should be... This one is probably the Corrosive build right here. So this is Corrosive, no Riven. Keep in mind, we do have Corrosive projection, as I stated earlier. And yeah, this thing is actually pretty good for Acolytes. But I would recommend, as far as using the primary shot or the Incarnon shot, use the primary shot on Acolytes, as beam weapons they're not really that great on Acolytes. Speaking of weapons that are just good, let's talk about one of the issues I have with this thing, and that's the fact that it's so similar to the Torid Incarnon. The Torid Incarnon is an S-tier Incarnon, one of the best weapons in the entire game. Like, extremely easily. And this thing feels somewhat similar to it. Now, the Torid Incarnon has about double the base damage on the beam before mods compared to the Boar Incarnon. But what you're getting is a difference in damage types. The Torid Incarnon beam is base Toxin, and the Boar Incarnon beam is base Heat. And, you know, Toxin does have a damage over time tied to it, and that can be quite nice, also nice for bypassing shields. But, you know, heat procs can also stack up very nicely. They can remove enemy armor. They're just good in general. So if it had more similar base damage to the Torid, I think it would be a no questions asked, the Boar is better. But yeah, you're looking at basically, I think it's like 56 base damage after the Incarnon evolutions on the Boar, and then 104 on the Torid. And of course, that's before showing all the Incarnons, Riven Dispos, and all that. So... you know, there's definitely lots of potential here. And the fact I'm comparing this weapon to one of the best weapons in the game is, like I said, it's a good thing and a bad thing. I would say if you already have the Torid Incarnon and you are really like, you know, you're like, I don't want any more weapons besides the ones I just need. This thing is not really like, again, it's just like the Torid. If you already have the Torid Incarnon, you're basically getting a second Torid Incarnon here. A very, very powerful beam weapon. I've got some other builds on here too, where you can actually fit on a lot of stuff. If you are someone that uses the Nourish Helmet ability, think of just like the Torid build, where you run a Toxin Nourish setup. It's just like that, but you're doing a Heat Nourish setup. So you can throw on Hunter Munitions, Heat Procs, you know, all these different mods, and you can actually almost fit the whole build on hilariously when you use, you know, Nourish, because you want to throw on your viral mods. You can just get viral from an outside source. That can be nice too. So yeah, at the end of the day, this Corrosive build's quite nice. Let's see if we can just get some Acolyte in here. Let's see, so Acolyte should be around the end here. Okay, so yeah, this is going to be the Acolyte with the Corrosive build. I would recommend a Corrosive build for the most part, because this can just handle most of the Steel Path, you know, like entry-level Steel Path missions. The Viral build is better for scaling missions. I didn't mean to armor strip her, but either way, that's going to be the armor strip set up with a Corrosive build. Relatively nice. Let's get some Viral build gameplay here, which we also showed in this video. Now look out for the Bubble Boy, because he will put the bubble on you. And as you can see, the beam is not really as good against the Acolyte. But yeah, you know, that's just how it goes. So with this Viral build, we have Viral and Heat. That's why Galvanized Shot, or rather Galvanized Savvy, can be so nice. We're getting Viral and Heat from the beam. We're getting Slash from Hunter Munitions. And yeah, I mean, we're chaining between enemies. It's quite nice. I would say you're seeing overall bigger numbers on the Torid just because of the base damage and the crit being pretty similar. I think the Torid actually just has more crit than this with the Incarnon taken into account. But again, like, heat procs are good. I will say one of the issues I do have with this thing is that, like some beam weapons like the Vermisplicer in this game, it has a mind of its own sometimes. If you're trying to like latch into a specific enemy with the energy beam, it can sometimes just go after another enemy in the room that you're not even trying to aim at. So that's very annoying. And also remember, you're chaining to 3 enemies. The Torid chains to 5. But also this is quite nice. So some other options you can go for on the setup here for the mods. As I said, you're going to have a mod drain issue just because these mods are so powerful and have so much drain that, you know, you can only fit so much on here. You only have like 60 capacity with a reactor. A mod you can actually throw on here on one of the builds I have, now keep in mind, this is not completed. I need to actually form this thing more. Galvanized Acceleration. On kill, this will give you beam length. This beam length works on the Incarnon shot, the Incarnon beam of the boars. And this does not work. This does not work on the Torid. So you can have about a 30-ish meter beam length once this is fully stacked. Speaking of Rivens, things of that nature, we have a Riven right here with multi-shot crit damage minus impact. My problem here is that I don't have enough room to throw on a Bane mod. So I'm going to probably have to take off one of these mods. I could go with... So here's what we can do. We can just go with Nourish. Again, the mod drain is gone. But let's just throw on a Hunter Munitions setup here. So this is what I was running earlier with Wisp. And yeah, this could be quite nice if you're really looking to commit a lot to your build. So pretty good right there. No Hunter Munitions. You could probably throw Hunter Munitions right there. And let's just see how this goes. So what I was talking about earlier, Nourish from Grendel, this gives you viral damage on your guns. So this lets us mod for viral Hunter Munitions without having to actually put on viral mods on our weapon. So we cast the ability. Now we have a 200% damage viral buff. And as you can see, I might have forgot to put the Riven on here, but yeah, pretty nice. You know, 283k. If I was to like throw on a bunch of procs on her too, with something like maybe the Synod Gamma Core, video soon on that one, it's absolute one shot. So Rivens can be quite nice on these things if you have a good roll, and it has such high dispo that, you know, anything somewhat respectable will be quite powerful here. So that's gonna be basically it for the Boar Incarnon, guys. I really, really like this thing. You know, the actual just primary shot's very good now too. So yeah, go out and enjoy the Boar Incarnon. Hopefully you have fun with it. You know, Armor Strip can be quite nice on there too. But you know, when I throw Armor Strip in videos, it's kind of like, you know, what can't kill with Armor Strip at the end of the day. So I'll see you guys next time. Appreciate all the support. And yeah, Gamma Core video, all the new Incarnon videos coming out very soon. Appreciate all the support and make sure you're subbed. Alright guys, take it easy. Peace!